guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today we're tying a small one yet again in winter colors because, well, it is winter, so it makes sense to tie some winter flies. You can see it here, it's sitting in my vise. It's a fairly simple one, made only of some tinsel and a little bit of bucktail, some glue and some ice, and that was already a lot of things, it seems, but it is a very simple fly and it fishes really well. So let's jump down to the vise here as usual and tie this little bucktail baitfish. Okay, so the hook here in the vise is from Eric's Hooks, and it is the NS 122, the light stinger in a size 10, so a fairly small one. But actually not that small for a fly like this. Let me hold it up again here so you can see. The hook sits kinda in the middle of the fly here, and the hook gap is not too big, so this has a really small profile in the water, which can do the trick sometimes in winter, especially in this color, but sometimes, at least with the sea trout, they can get a little bit picky in the winter, and I don't know if it's because they are aware that the food sources are limited, that they kind of tend to take smaller bait. But who knows, right? In reality. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, as fishermen do sometimes. Sometimes you just have to get out and then just throw the fly in the water and see what happens. So I'm covering up the hook shank here with some Mylar tinsel in the color opal. And here you can really go crazy with the colors, right? So you could take, if you want to, you could take a fluorescent yellow one and then just do maybe the wing or the tail in white. That would look cool, I guess. You're welcome. So snip that off. And most of the tying will be going on in the front here. Just put on a little layer of tying thread. It's a good idea to have a thin one. I don't even know if I've ever shown the thread I'm using. Let me just grab one here, because I do get that question quite often. What kind of tying thread? It's this one here from Beavis, a 30 denier. And this is a really thin but also very strong tying thread. Okay, so you could, if you pull tight on this when tying down lead, it would cut straight through it without breaking the thread. So it's a really, really good thread, and I only use this one in white and black. And of course for the glass shrimp I will use a mono thread, but only for that one. So that's that with the thread. Then I want some bucktail in white for the belly of the fly. So just, I have a large piece here, so you just want to plug out some of the straight ones down here. Not that many, just a little bunch. And then what I like to do is to kind of just hold it up like this, and you can see these are way too long, so I'll just plug those out. And also the shortest ones, so by holding the tips like this, you can see here, these short ones I don't want, to plug those out as well. Which leaves you with a little thin bunch like this. And then you can just kind of moisten your fingers and run it through the hairs to align them a little bit so you can determine the length of the wing here. I think this looks good. Let's get a few wraps on top of that. And you want it just on top of the hook, so that tinsel really can be seen underneath there like this. Then cut this off in front here by pulling it up. Cut that off. Be careful you don't cut off your tail there when doing it. Tighten that up like that. Then some bucktail in pink. Same thing. Cut it off down here where the straight fibers are. Now this is these are fairly long, so the material waste on this is it's not a whole lot, but you'll see what I mean. So if you have some bucktail lying around with a bit shorter fibers, let's say you have some for you couldn't use for your pike flies or stuff like that. This is a good way to get those short fibers used, depending on the quality, of course, of your bucktail. Whoop. Sorry for blowing out your ears. So same thing again. This one is actually a little bit different because they are quite uniform in the lengths. I will just be plucking out the shorter ones. Like this. And this I want a tiny bit longer than the previous one. Tie that in on top here, a couple of loose wraps before you tighten it down. Get this jungle under control here. Like so. That's looking good. And also with a thread like this one I'm using here, you really have to be careful that you don't pull the thread too hard, because otherwise it will cut straight through the bucktail. So clean up that head. And here you can see a problem, if it is a problem at all. But something that is a little bit annoying, that is this thread is unwaxed, so on a smooth material like bucktail or slippery, you could say, if the cut you make with your scissors is too how to say it, if it's too straight, the thread will slip off the material. So just cut on an angle and that should solve the problem. Get a weight finish on here. Tighten that down, one will do. Cut off your tying thread. And you may have noticed I almost never cut my tying thread after the whip finish. I just open my scissors a little bit like this. This is a bit exaggerated, but you get the idea. I open it like this and I just pull the scissor into the tying thread. Pull the thread tight and then just push the scissors against the tying thread. That way you will push off the thread and not cut it, accidentally cutting off any of your materials. Man, I am sprinkling tips out all over the place today. Some eyes, I want these from Pro Sport Fisher. These are in, how big are these? 3 millimeters, so pretty small. Get those onto my hand here. that. And then just, see, I have a stray hair here. Snip that one off. So just clean up your fly if you have any small hairs or anything like that. There we go. Put on a drop of UV resin here. Maybe grab your dubbing needle and just work it into the bucktail a little bit. Like so. And it doesn't have to be super neat at this stage. This is just to get everything under control. So grab the bucktail like this, and then just wiggle it up around a little bit while pulling backwards. And then when you're satisfied, just cure that with your lamp. Get everything under control. There we go. So now we have a nice slim profile, and we can really see that tinsel on the belly there show through. So now it's time to put on some ice by putting on a drop of UV resin here, just a tiny drop. Put on an eye. Look how it's sitting. That's okay. Cure that. Same thing for the other side. Small drop on there. Make sure it's in the right place before you cure that. So now the eyes are fixed. Let's cover up the rest of the fly here. Over the eye, on both sides of course. So these first steps by getting the hairs under control and gluing on the eyes really help to get a clean finish afterwards, as you can see here. And like always, just keep your fly moving in the vise. If you let it hang like this, it will of course start to sag. You can see it right away, but if you move it, that's a nice noise. If you move it around in your vise like this, you will get a really nice uniform shape. I actually think I put a little bit too much on here. But I'm sure you guys will get the hang of this. I've seen some of the work you guys put out on Instagram, and gotta tell you, man, there's a lot of great ties out there. So here we go. Let's cure this one. that's cured. And of course you could, I guess I could put a small layer on just to make it really nice for the Instagram account, but I have a few lying around here that look a little bit better, so I'll just photograph one of those. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.